An emotional and heartrending anniversary today for the city of Bathurst, New Brunswick. 1 year ago, an accident on an icy highway claimed the lives of 7 students and a teacher. They were on their way home after playing a basketball game in Moncton when their van collided with a tractor trailer. There were memorials over the weekend and more today. Todd Battis is outside Bathurst High School and joins us now. So, Todd, how is the community and school marking this very sad anniversary?
Well, Nancy, you mentioned it, a very sad day for Bathurst. Keep in mind, this is a very small community, very tight-knit. In many respects, it's like the collision just happened. There have been those memorials over the weekend, the largest being yesterday at the biggest church in the city. Family and friends, about 300 people gathered to remember. Bathurst High School behind me, they held an observance, a couple minutes of silence. First thing this morning, they're wearing blue ribbons inside. That was the favorite color of Beth Lord, the teacher that was killed in that incident. And at noon, they'll all congregate at the permanent memorial behind the school. There's a basketball net there in remembrance to the boys in red. They'll lay wreaths. That's a private ceremony. And they have been, people have been talking about this the past few days. In fact, they've been talking about this the past year. It's been very much a part of the community. But at the same time, we want you to take a listen to John McLaughlin. He's the superintendent of schools here. And he said that now, a year later, life seemingly returning to normal.
I was in the school the other day on Friday, and I was walked by the gym, and the kids were playing basketball and screaming and shouting like kids do, and there were kids out in the hall laughing and making plans for the weekend. And so I think in some ways life has returned, and there's a new kind of normal at the school, but it's not normal at all. There is this underlying sadness that key moments such as an anniversary bring back.
Superintendent of Schools John McLaughlin there, and there was a memorial held last night at the site of the accident, exactly 1 year to the very minute. 125 people turned out, many of them students, and many of them realizing the finality of it all, that yes, a year later they realize their friends aren't coming back, and this is forever. Nancy?
Well, we know as well, looking ahead, Todd, that the coroner has said he would hold an inquest into the crash. That must be some comfort, particularly to those residents who were really calling for an inquest. But generally speaking, how do people feel about an inquest where they would once again have to revisit this tragedy?
Right. Well, certainly the parents that were fighting hard for an inquest, looking for answers to a lot of questions they still have, are happy. They fought for it for a long time. They picketed. They had petitions signed for months on end. So they're quite pleased that it's going to happen, even though it won't get started until April or May. Their big issue now is to make sure that they are part of that coroner's inquest and that they're allowed to make statements. But there is a certain portion of the population here who would rather not open it all up again, who would rather go forward with the reports that have been done by transportation and by the RCMP, and would like things to try to return to normal and just move forward, and are not interested in having the wounds of this incident opened again in the community. So I would say they're in the minority, but certainly that group exists. Nancy?
Todd, thanks very much for this. Todd Battis reporting in Bathurst, New Brunswick.